There it is. This is my Eastern supply of teas.
When it comes to organization, Sally O'Brien's got a pretty good system in place.
I find that keeping some sort of paper trail or electronic trail, if that's the best thing for you, is really pretty paramount.
Little reminders, like when to walk her dog, Dash. She'll be the first to tell you. She needs them.
People will talk to me, you talk to me, oh, you seem so articulate, but yet I, at times, try to fill up a gas tank. I can't follow the instructions.
The problem, Sally suffers from multiple sclerosis, a disease better known for the damage it can do to a person's body.
This is a sheet that I put together that's actually a timeline of my illness.
It practically paralyzed her one weekend in 2003.
It was pretty overwhelming. When you read those books about being first diagnosed, they cover all the different symptoms you could get. And my mind kind of went, well, what are the ones that I'm going to get? And you always kind of immediately think it's going to be the mobility. Am I going to be in a wheelchair?
Multiple sclerosis is a disease that causes the immune system to turn on the central nervous system. Antibodies in the blood attack the protective coating surrounding the brain, spinal cord, and optic nerve.
It can affect vision. It can affect motor function, so weakness or stiffness. It can affect sensation, so you can have numbness or unusual sensations like tingling or things. There are probably more symptoms from MS than any other single disease.
Dr. James Bowen is the director of the MS Center at Swedish, one of the largest of its kind in the country. It's a real asset since Seattle has some of the highest rates of MS, some say, in the world.
The research has shown that the further away from the equator, the higher the numbers of MS.
Yet, despite this commonality, Aaron Posnaski with the Greater Northwest chapter of the National MS Society says no one really knows what causes MS. But thanks to local research efforts, outreach, and support programs, patients have reason to be optimistic. Dr. Bowen agrees.
Nowadays, in the last 20 years, we've gone from 0 to 9 FDA-approved treatments, and these treatments slow down the disease. And I think one of the more exciting areas is that we are just on the edge of developing treatments to repair some of the damage that's been done. So it's one thing to slow the disease down, it's entirely another to repair the damage that's already been done.
And that's exciting news for people like Rochelle Alston.
You know, you think MS and you just think straight to the no walking in a wheelchair.
She was diagnosed while she was in college.
I remember, being in class and standing up and my leg was numb.
And for someone who dreads needles, MS was not the disease to have. For years, that's been the only way to take the medication.
And that was hard. I remember the first time I had to do my injection, I think I sat on the couch for 2 hours with that needle in my hand. And I'm like, I can do this.
But now patients no longer have to give themselves shots. The FDA just approved 2 new oral medications this year, and that could come in real handy for another special group of MS patients.
But you see, the most typical pattern is going to be these little patchy, bright spots.
Dr. Raymond Ferry runs the pediatric MS clinic at Seattle Children's. He says MS can affect young people differently. They can suffer cognitive symptoms as well as physical ones, so they could have difficulty in school.
If we can treat them early, keep it controlled early, we may function down the road.
And that's the key, if you ask Sally. Early treatment, #1 on her list.
I know I'm beautiful.
And while MS has made her a bit more meticulous, medical advances are making a normal life more possible for patients.
Watch CityStream Thursday nights at 7 on the Seattle Channel, or get video on demand and podcast anytime at seattlechannel.org.